Hello world, welcome to the climate change video number 247. I'm calling it climate change because that is what is occurring right now and will probably continue to occur to the very end. It is a crime what is being committed on our world as far as world leaders, and I mean world leaders. They're all increasing, the northern hemisphere at least, and Australia. Their demand and increasing exploration and drilling and mining for fossil fuels. They're not going the other way, and this is crime. Okay, this is don't kid yourself. Your leaders engaged in crime, mass murder of what's happening. So that's why I'm calling it climate change from now on. It's climate change video number 247. It is August 17th, 2023, and next week will be August 24th, 2023 for number 248. So I'm going to give you some quick statistics, what's happening, not that much because nobody really cares anyway. So right now there's an earth energy imbalance. Like there's more sunlight coming in and heat as a result of that. It turns into infrared energy once it strikes the earth and goes back out into space. Well, more is coming in and staying in than is going back into space. So that's why we're having this heating. That's a basic fact. It's not hard to extrapolate from that. It's easy to understand, and that the carbon dioxide level is like a blanket. If you have a fever and you're just pulling and putting more and more blankets on top of yourself, and that's why the temperature of the Earth keeps increasing. Right now, you have the fires in Hawaii and Maui, and so far they've discovered 110 people confirmed dead, but they're still missing 1,000, so it could go a lot higher. In Yellowknife in Canada, and up in the Taiga, in the boreal forest area, they're evacuating a town right now called Yellowknife. 20,000 people are being evacuated. The whole town. They're being told to get out. Can't save it. So right now in Canada, there are 1,000 fires going on. There are fires in Russia, though, happening right now. Fires in the West. It's crazy what's happening. Lack of action, lack of reporting. Floods in China. Who knows what else is going on around the world. Africa, we have no idea what's happening there because no one reports it. And I have to really dig to get news from Africa or the Middle East and things like that. So this last July was the hottest in recorded history, and what they're not saying is the hottest in human history, meaning 120,000 years. So humans have never been alive in a situation where this is occurring, and what I'm about to tell you is not fun. I don't enjoy this, and I realize it's falling upon deaf ears based on the lack of interest and lack of response to the positive. And I'm going to talk about a little negative responses I've been getting to, which is unfathomable. I'm just giving facts and extrapolations as to where things are going, but people don't want to hear it, and it doesn't matter whether you want to hear it or not, it's coming. These fires in Maui, they call it naturally occurring fires. That's a crock of crap. The reason why the electric wires set the ground on fire was because you had a drying of the environment around. For several years, I've been watching Hawaii, they've been in drought. Okay, so you get a drought situation, lack of moisture, and then you get huge winds from a Category 4 hurricane that might be a couple hundred miles away, but it's sucking in air and pulling it right by Maui. And this is what happens when that occurs. You got drought and high winds, and you get flash fire going on, and you get extreme wildfires. It just so happened that the town was in the way of the fire. And they're trying to blame everything else, but no one will say it's climate change. They're saying naturally occurring. Total lie. Okay, everything's naturally occurring in the world of climate change because that is nature. Nature's trying to scrape us off the earth because we are a parasite right now, and we're not working with Earth, we're working against Earth, and she's trying to get rid of us, and I can't blame her for that. It's a response system. And you look at these responses going on with Earth and everything, and you can see it's a gyroscope that tries to stay steady, but what we have done now is we've pushed the gyroscope into a wobble, and where there is no normal, there is no new normal, there is no baseline to determine a normal. And right now the gyroscope is trying to find itself, gyroscope Earth, and we've pushed ourselves off the Goldilocks zone into the hot zone, and whether we can ever get it back might take thousands of years, or never at all, or millions of years. But we're causing a situation that we cannot get back from if we continue on this path. And right now, the inertia indicates that we're in big trouble. Whatever. Okay, so let's see, 2024. Okay, that's the year that's coming up, and it's horrible. As you can tell, our tree is dropping leaves. It's in severe stress, and that's part of climate change too. We're going to end up in 2024 next year, and starting this year in the fall, and then especially in the spring and all, unbelievable heat in some places. You're going to have massive deaths around the world. It's crazy what's going to happen. The temperature is going to spike right past the 1.5 barrier, right through the 2 degrees Celsius barrier that everyone keeps talking about. 1.5 is done. There's no way we're going to ever get back to 1.5 the way we're going. Not with these leaders in charge and the lack of public interest and the lack of public following through on things. So you're going to end up with massive deaths. You're going to see famous people dying. Someone somewhere is going to get caught in one of these floods, fires, hurricanes, whatever. And then finally, maybe the public will understand because they're vapid and they only extrapolate if famous people start dying. If it happens to them, then I guess it could happen to us. You will probably know in 2024 someone profoundly affected by climate change. Hopefully it won't be you. Hopefully it won't be me and my family. But you will know someone next year that's going to be profoundly affected by climate change. What's going to happen too is you're going to end up with a grid collapse. There's a real risk of that because the energy demand from excessive heat will cause more air conditioners to be used and more stress on the energy system. And if we get a solar flare around the same time too, or on its own independently, because the sun right now is at its most active period till 2025, you could end up with a total grid collapse. And I've had people tell me that, I don't need an air conditioner. I stay at 90 degrees or 100 degrees and I'm fine. Well, you know what? Good luck with that. One of my postings was, if you think climate change is a hoax, then turn off your air conditioner for a month and then get back to me if you're still alive, especially if you live down south and are in total denial of what's going on. So you're going to end up with a grid collapse. Some town will flood big time, a town will burn. Probably. I mean, if you take Maui, for example, and extrapolate, people can't move quickly, and it's you don't have the ability to get out of the way quick enough, especially in places like Florida. Florida's on a peninsula. There's no escaping from that. There's basically 3 main roads out of Florida. It will clog up big time. It's a high population state, and if they have an emergency, they're not going to get out. And people need to plan ahead. Always keep a gas tank full. Always keep water on hand. Always keep extra food on hand in your car if you can without it melting. Or at least have a bug-out bag available that you grab and go within minutes. And if you do that, you'll be at an advantage over everyone else because you can get up the highway somewhat before everyone goes in total freak-out mode. But you have to keep your gas tank full. And if your grid goes down, this is a little word of advice. If the grid goes down, your air conditioner is not working, get in your car, you have an air conditioner most likely in there, and as long as you have gasoline, you can run your air conditioner. Just don't choke to death on carbon monoxide. So what will also happen is that people will defer to the leaders. The world leaders, especially here in the United States, everyone's buffoonish and thinks these leaders know what they're doing, and they do know what they're doing. It's pure evil as to what's happening, because I have access to this information. They've had access to this information for years. They won't demand immediate action because they will defer to the leaders. They'll go, Uncle Joe or Trump or whoever will have the information. They'll take care of us. No, they won't. They haven't been taking care of you. This is out of control. Okay, there's no plan to fix things. Yeah, they had this one little plan to spend $39 billion a year in a situation that is bigger than all the wars there ever were combined. Okay, so we're sending money over Ukraine in hundreds of millions. We're sending it, but we give Maui $700. Your government will not be there for you when this happens. They can't be there. They've spent all their money on war. Okay, all their money is going towards the military. If you want to go crazy on this, in Maui, the situation happened where all this happened in Maui. You got a naval base that's 100 miles away in Pearl Harbor, and also an Air Force base right next door that they've combined the two. 100 miles away. Did you see any Navy ships going down there? Did you see any giant amounts of Navy personnel being discharged onto the shore, and Marines and whatever to help save these people, help get them out? No. Yeah, they sent 50 people or 100 people or 200 people maybe. And this is what happens. Your government will not be there for you. They're spending all their money on war. They don't care about you, what's happening. And you keep sitting by and voting for these dumbasses and this is what's going to happen. And I'm probably wrong calling them dumbasses. I think they're just pure evil. They know what's happening, and they just want to be elected, and they want to get money for their buddies and more money for their oil buddy subsidies and things like that. Write laws for the oil buddies and the fossil fuel friends, and keep going like this. You got to call it out. I mean, this is ridiculous what's happening. There's both parties in this country. It's not just one party. Don't kid yourself. I wrote a whole article how all the reasons why things are happening as they are, and there's no plan to get out, and all the stuff Biden administration is doing, let alone the Trump administration is doing, had done, as to why we're in big trouble. And in fact, on one of my videos, they're building a park, or they're building, putting 3 buildings downtown. And my suggestion was to put in a park with trees and everything else, and also have a greenway, a circuit around the town, and another circuit going out of town a little bit, or to the edge of town. And in fact, I got 3 negative responses on it, 2 negative responses on it, no positives about my whole video about that. They want the buildings. They don't see a reason why there shouldn't be buildings in town. I gave many reasons why there's a downside to this, but you know, you get what you deserve, and you deserve what you get. That's what it's coming down to at this point. If you're going to be sitting by and watching things happen and defer to leaders, you're going to get what you deserve, and that's all there is to it. You're not informed, you're not paying attention to the happenings, and when I do videos like this and I get negative responses, you know, what am I supposed to do about it? I've done my best. I sleep at night, sort of, and what's coming up in 2024, people will not be sleeping at night, and they won't know why this is happening because they didn't pay attention. The word didn't spread about what's happening. People aren't talking about climate change. Nobody cares. So this town and the United States and the world is not prepared for what is coming. They're not concerned. They sit by. They think the leaders will handle everything. Whether you're in Europe, United States, Africa, Asia, you name it, Australia, you think your leaders are in control and they know what's going on and they're going to take care of you. Oh, you're getting taken care of all right, all the way up to the end. So people are definitely not panicked to the point of taking action. And I don't mean just panic like, oh, I don't know what to do. No, take action. Do these talks. Get out there and protest. Stand in front of your party's headquarters downtown. Do whatever you need to do that. Make phone calls, things like that. They won't listen to your phone calls. They won't listen to your petitions. The vote, the ballot doesn't matter. If you look at the Democratic primary coming up, it's already fixed. The superdelegates kicked in the second round of balloting, and most likely there's no clear-cut winner in the first round. If there is no clear-cut winner, then things just continue on, and then the second ballot determines who's the winner. So Democratic primary is fixed. Republican primary, the news just keeps covering the one guy who's up for trial for everything rather than anyone else with any ideas at all. So hold on one second. So dog interruption. So it blows my mind as to what's happening. You know, it just doesn't make sense what's going on as far as the public goes. There's just total complacency. So this will keep going the way it is. It's going to get worse and worse and worse and worse with no chance of getting out of this. And I know it's negative to say that, but no one's doing anything. If you're not engaged with your leaders and not engaged with each other, it is going to get much, much worse. There's no indication that things will get better. This is going to go horrifically bad very quickly, and it's like something dropping off a table. And once it's in free fall, which we are now, you can't get it back. And no one's doing anything to try to grab it or stop it or slow it down or anything like that. So people think their lives won't change for the worse. Our lives are going to change for the worse. My life, your life, everybody's life. And it's going to get much, much worse starting very soon, either and all the way through 2024. El Nino is kicking into its massive amounts coming up. And it's not going to be a good thing. So there's no pushback. There's attack. I've had attacks towards me, but there's no pushback the other way saying, yeah, I'm going to get involved and start doing this and do this. No. If anything, you get ostracized. People won't talk to you about it. People don't want to talk to you about it. People want to stay in their little world, and they think you're a Debbie Downer by reporting what's going on. Everything I've said over the past few years has come to be. I said 2023 is going to be a wake-up year. I was wrong about that because people aren't waking up. They don't want to wake up. They want to keep slumbering and thinking everything's hunky-dory, and they're not. And ask the people of Maui how wonderful things are right now. So you deserve what you get, and you get what you deserve. So we cannot avoid this, but we can try to adapt to the situation. But in order to do that, you need to be engaged with the world leaders and the leaders in this country and local leaders as well. This town is not ready for what's coming. I'm scared to death for them. We're not ready at this house, and it's a matter of money, doing what we want. You know, probably need a metal roof, probably need a seawall, you know, in case there's a flood, an ocean wall, rather, not ocean, river wall in case we get a flood, which we will. But, you know, under this capitalistic system, there's no money available to do such things. You know, no money to spread around the whole community and try to save ourselves. We're spending too much on the military. Our taxes are going towards them, or the subsidies at $11 million a second to the fossil fuel industry. So I'll catch you next week, and this is a shameful act what's happening right now, and I'm sorry to give this talk. I'll catch you next week. That'll be number 248, and that'll be on August 24th. But we all really need to do something, and this talk will fall upon deaf ears. There'll be 700 of you that always listen, and I thank you for that, around the world especially. Locally, I'm a pariah with what's going on. People won't say anything, and if there are anything said, I'm doing it wrong, I'm too harsh, to this, to that, to the. So I thank you around the world for participating and leaving comments. So have a great day. Start being prepared for 2024. I don't know what to tell you what to do. It's going to be really horrendous. So do the bug out thing at the very least. Bag, have something ready to go. Prepare for that. And think about, if things go wrong, what can I do to make it right, or at least get away from the situation at hand. So I'll catch you next week. Hopefully some different information, but most likely not. It'll be the next disaster. See you later.